Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, a spotlight podcast. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
So the world is returning to normal from the pandemic, and thank goodness social activities are resuming in full force. Here to discuss the 2023 installation of the Capital City Film Festival are founding member and board member Nicole Szymczak and board member Samantha Lee and Festival Manager Emma Selby. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm really excited to have this conversation. I've done it, I think, 3 years in a row now, or this is the third, which is great. Because to tell you the truth, I lived here a long time before I knew we had this fantastic opportunity, and it is a fantastic event that you pull off. So that's great. So start by telling us how and when, the Capital City Film Festival got started.
Yeah, the Capital City Film Festival got started with a brief idea in 2010. I know I had left Michigan State in 2002, and in coming back, like most professionals do, I had worked in television production. And so when I came back to this area, kind of through film venues, just kind of got hooked up as well with Dominic Cochran and Jason Gabriel, who were also shooting a film. And if you've ever shot a film together, you get really close really quick because you're pretty much stuck on an island for a good couple weeks together. So we were able to hit it off. And so kind of having this idea in downtown Lansing, in 2010 was a big deal because Lansing didn't look like it does right now.
Right.
And so we really wanted to, we were surrounded by a whole bunch of talented people who could pull off great events, who can get great musicians, who knew a lot about the scene and also a lot about wanting to reactivate some of these old buildings that were here. And so, 10 years, 12 some years later, we're still here. And so I think the big goal of it was to really introduce the community to new perspectives, new art, and really get an appreciation, not just for film made in Michigan, but also to bring film from around the world here to Lansing, which we have. Over the past 10 years or so, we have films from over 75 different countries. So we're really excited, and now we're also excited for kind of our next generation of leadership, who's really taking us, into some great new extremes. So it's been really, really a fun ride, and to see now Lansing what it looks like now.
Right.
That was the vision I think that we all hoped for when we were younger professionals. That this is exactly what we wanted it to happen, and it's here. So
you've been doing this for a dozen years or so. And so Lansing, for those who don't know, doesn't really have a big theater, right? A place to actually show these things. So when I hear about a film festival, and I've lived in a lot of different cities, and the film festival takes place at this one theater and it just runs almost 24/7 or whatever it is. And, or there are a couple of places where half and half kind of a thing, but we don't have a theater. So where do people go to see these films in the city of Lansing?
Yeah, so like Nicole was saying, one of the goals of the Film Fest is to kind of show people what Lansing has. So we intentionally use spaces that are not theaters and turn them into theaters. So the Lansing Public Media Center is typically our flagship location. A lot of our Film Fest team works there, and so they're a huge sponsor, and we do a lot of things there. But then we've also utilized the Fledge, which is a community center that a lot of people are familiar with in Lansing. We've done places like the Hot Tub store back in the day. And we just take these places in Lansing that are cool places, and we turn them into cool theaters so that people can experience film, experience art in new spaces where they may not have had that before.
So how about the films themselves, right? You mentioned, I think, 75 films or 75 different countries. So how does that process even happen? Like, how do you find what films to show? What categories do you pick? I mean, people aren't going to go see Star Wars and Jaws and that kind of stuff at a film festival, right? So these are new. Are they all new?
They're submissions. So we had over 300 submissions last year. We have a whole committee that screen every single movie that gets submitted. We select films and categorize them. Some of the shorter films will do a block like short films, music videos, and then spread them amongst our venues throughout the schedule. And we are an international film festival, like Nicole said, so it's great to see films come in from all across the world.
And didn't the Capital City Film Festival win some sort of accolade at the end of last season? I think so.
Yeah, the coolest film festival.
Right, right. And that was almost unsolicited, right? It wasn't like an application process. I think some government or some organization
one of the 25 coolest film festivals.
How awesome is that?
It's great. It's great to get that recognition, and it's also, we also were by our own arts foundation as well too. We were recognized, and so I think that says something. It says something about the hard work of the folks involved. It says something about the strength of our brand and our promise, that it's really stuck through. Again, we're really blessed to have folks like Traction and Cameron Ganas that were able to build this visual brand and this identity that people connect with, and something that means something to us, and it's winning awards for it. So we're really excited.
No kidding. I mean, that's fantastic. So for those not terribly familiar with the whole concept of a film festival, like, how do you learn, like, where do you show up? Well, first of all, we're recording this in February of 2023, but the great news is, listeners, no matter when you find it, the film festival almost always is in April, right? Yes. Except for a pandemic adjustment that was made a couple of years back. Yep. But so the film festival is in April. How do you learn how to buy tickets, and where do you show up, and how do you pick what films you want to see, and kind of how does that get orchestrated to the person who's never been but maybe is curious?
Totally. So the way that we communicate everything is through our website and our social media presence. Every year we post a big giant schedule of everything that's happening, and typically we have that run as an ad in a couple of places as well, so people can see the schedule, see what's going on. And we have everything listed on there, from the short block films and the exact information about them, to the feature films, to the other events, because we also have concerts and we have parties and we have interactive elements. So all of that is listed in the schedule on our website, and people can go in and just take a look and peruse the entire giant schedule of days. Typically this year it's an 11-day festival.
Wow.
So we have things happening during the week, in the evenings after people get off of work. They can head to watch a film or head to some other experience, and then on the weekends we run things for longer throughout the day. So there's a lot of things happening. It can be a little bit overwhelming. I remember before I was involved with planning the festival, the couple of times I had attended, I remember that feeling of being a little overwhelmed, of like, oh my gosh, this is such a cool thing happening in Lansing, but I just don't even know where to begin in approaching it. And so one of our goals in the last couple of years, as Nicole was saying, this new generation of people are coming into the festival, is to take those things that we've learned from being attendees and participants and make sure that our communications, the way that we're promoting, all lead to a more seamless experience for attendees at the festival. So people can buy passes for the entire festival, or if they're just interested in seeing a couple of the films specifically, they can buy individual tickets for those. There's a lot of different ways, and you can kind of customize the festival to be what you want it to be.
The festival runs from April 5th through April 15th this year.
Okay, that's fantastic. And so what is the website? You keep talking about this website.
Yes, the website is ccff.co.
Okay.
People can go.
And people can get tickets there. Yeah. And I think, kind of to build on what Emma was talking about too, if you've come to the festival before, you know that it's also really accessible. So we like to keep our ticket prices very low, up to $5, and or free in some respects as well too. So some of the things that you're going to see, especially maybe there's a documentary series, or maybe someone, there's a filmmaker in attendance. And so what you're really going to get for that is just a lot of value, and
sure.
It's just a really great event. And we really want to make sure that it's accessible to as many people as possible. And that's definitely a promise that we've kept.
Yeah, and to activate the city, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and this is April. Hopefully we'll be coming out of the doldrums of dead of winter, and it seems like a very wise way to spend a couple of weeks of your time. That's great. So usually these events take a lot of hands to pull off, right? So the three of you must be the tip of the iceberg, but talk to us about what does sponsorship look like, and what does volunteerism look like, and how do you get all this kind of pulled together? And granted, you're a dozen years in, so you've got a system, but share with us all the work that goes behind the scenes, and maybe what holes you have left that you want to maybe get more people involved for this coming year.
Yeah, absolutely. So our festival it's a 501c. So it is a nonprofit, and it is over 90% fully volunteer run. So there are a few contracted paid positions, but from our volunteers that work on the ground to the board members to the majority of our staff are all volunteers volunteering our time. And so we really need the support of the community to keep this amazing event growing and building in Lansing. So that comes from the support. All of the ticket sales go back into the festival, and we really heavily rely on our community sponsors as well as corporate sponsors. So whether you're an individual donor or you're maybe a company that wants to invest in arts in mid-Michigan, we are fundraising for this year, and we really couldn't do it without them. So we want to see our city and our community grow. And I know a lot of people here want to see the same thing and have cool events like this going on. And so we would love to get more sponsors, and always welcome that. And that can be found on the support tab on our website as well.
Got it. So the support tab, ccff.co, and the support tab, you can learn about sponsorship opportunities. Are there any perennial, I'm looking at you, Nicole, because you got the history of this, but are there any pretty consistent sponsors that you've had through the years?
Well, the City of Lansing is a huge sponsor.
Oh, fantastic.
And also
Okay.
the Lansing Public Media Center, we really couldn't do it without the talent of the production team that they lend. I mean, it's crazy. And again, I've lived in Las Vegas and in LA, and coming here to Lansing and seeing, like we were talking about, these venues being turned into theaters. I mean, really just their time is really great too as well. MSUFCU has also been a big supporter for us in the past. And we're really looking for some more really flagship ones as well too. Aside from going back into the festival and supporting the festival, we do run, one of the largest film contests in Michigan with one of the biggest cash prizes, and that's the Fortnite Film Festival, and that happens 2 weeks before our festival.
Yeah, this year the Fortnite Film Contest will kick off on March 9th, which is a little earlier than we typically do it, but we want to kind of spread it out, give some breathing room there, which means that now, of course, people will be finding this, and we run this contest every year, but it's the time to start gathering your teams, figuring out if you want to participate. And the way that it works is, like Nicole said, it's a 2-week contest. So you sign up ahead of time, and signing up for it gets you 2 passes to the festival. And then you are given by our team on the kickoff date the specific prompts and elements that you need to include in your film, and then you have 2 weeks to make it in Michigan. And so sometimes those elements are a line of dialogue, sometimes it's a physical location that we want to see, sometimes it's a certain sound that needs to be incorporated, and then we have a team of people who do some judging on it, watch all of them, and they've been anywhere from around 30 seconds to 25 minutes, and it could be however long the team wants them to be. So there's a ton of flexibility and fun within these, and you have everything from silly comedy, just goofy things. I remember last year I was just cracking up watching some of them. They were so funny, to serious films that tackle really hard topics, but they all have these specific elements in common. And then we do a screening during the festival where we watch some of them and we give out awards, and the audience gets to vote on their favorite. And like Nicole said, we give out big cash prizes, some of the biggest in the state. We give up to $5,000 in cash prizes.
So filmmakers might decide ahead of time, I want to participate, but you can't get started because you don't know what the elements are. So
Correct.
It's truly a timed... Okay.
That's how I know I met Dom and Jason as well too. Doing they're called 48 fives. So you do in 2 days, you do a 5-minute short. And to me, again, like I said, if you've ever done if you want to, get some camaraderie with your group together, just work on a film together. Both you're going to grow creatively,
right,
and also you're going to have a great product to introduce audiences to. And the Fortnite Film Festival screening is typically our largest event. And
and it's fun because with that, it can be anybody from professional filmmakers who are looking to do something creative and different to people who have never made a film before and want to shoot something on their phone and try it for the first time. And none of those qualifications of being a filmmaker necessarily impact any of the judging or any of the end product, because a lot of it just comes down to what you do with the prompts, what you are able to put together in the film itself. So it's a really fun way if you've never created a film, but you're looking for something fun, a creative outlet, something different to do with your friends. Why not try doing something like this where you could end up winning some decent money and having a fun time?
So is the detail for that Fortnite event also on the website?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. All right. Fortnite. No, so it has nothing to do with Fortnite, like the video game or anything?
I know I keep spelling it wrong this year because of the video game, but no, it's because
it's a Fortnite.
It's a Fortnite. It's 2 weeks.
Right, right. Which, is always confusing because, again, my kids always played Fortnite, and then you hear in
they can
BBC,
make a film about Fortnite.
Right. Yeah, it's just got to have the elements in there, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've had a Fortnite film yet, but that would be incredible.
We might have to edit that out so people don't,
Maybe
have everyone do. Right. So, is there a film festival subculture, like a community? Like, does Michigan have multiple film festivals? I mean, certainly they happen in other cities, I guess, and do you collaborate and learn best practices, or is it kind of proprietary because they're all different, or how's that work?
Yeah, we pull inspiration from film festivals all across the country. Michigan does have multiple film festivals, and so there are different elements. I mean, I think everyone is in the same community where we're looking how to better improve not only operationally but creatively our own film festival. So we do have attendees that go to other film festivals, see how they run things. And then, of course, we also see what movies are showing at other film festivals and potentially see if they would be interested in showing at the Capital City Film Festival.
Excellent.
And you've seen like Traverse City and the way that it activates that city as well.
Right.
And I believe that's back this year. But again, I think that film festivals are just for economic development, for drivers. I mean, coming here, I passed Temple Building and I see just how that looks now. And I remember being in there when we were working to activate it a couple years into a space when you didn't even have heat. And so seeing, that the potential that these spaces have, I think it's even a more unique opportunity in Lansing until we get our big theater. So here's to hoping of it.
Right. Yes. And there'll be another show to talk about some of the theater action that we've got coming into the city, which is great.
We're really excited about that. There's, you do what you follow your dream or you follow your vision, and, you see what kind of happens afterwards.
Right. And you talk about an important topic there, Nicole, about just, obviously someone has to go knock on doors to landlords and just say, hey, can we use this space for a couple of weeks? And, and there's, I guess there's insurance considerations and leave it as you found it kind of, stuff and getting permission and all of that. But that's got to be exciting for landlords to, just like, okay, well, this place has been empty or being for lease for a long period of time. And if we can push a couple hundred people through here over the course of a couple of weeks, you never know what kind of energy that could spark, or just good juju, or whatever you want to call it. So
yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing is that since we are, our community here in Mid-Michigan is so small, so we know everyone. And myself, coming from a background of commercial real estate in my day job, I'm doing air quotes, you guys can't hear me, we have those connections. So yeah, 100%. Right. And we love to see spaces that are maybe gray shells right now, raw spaces that can be activated into really cool venues. And we have a couple things in play. We can't announce them just yet, but we're excited to share with you guys some of the venues that we have for this year.
Yeah, every year is something new. Every year, kind of our red carpet party is in a different location as well, too. And it's always just a great mixer and a great way to learn a little bit about what's on tap for the coming 10 days.
Now, is that a kickoff or is that a closure, the red carpet?
So at the red carpet premiere party, we do it at the beginning of the festival. We, for a while, would do it on like the first night, but we've been doing it on the second or third night in the past couple of years, just to give our team some breathing room a little bit, and also to make it so that we can have our premiere film night be a big deal and then have the party kind of as a separate thing. So that happens at the beginning of the festival. And we have food and drinks and people can hang out. We have a red carpet, step and repeat, photographers. It's a really fun event for Lansing to just feel like a celeb for a night, honestly.
How about it? So April 5th to the 15th in downtown Lansing, we've got the Capital City Film Festival coming back for 2023. This is fantastic. So remind us of the website again.
The website is ccff.co.
All the information is there to be found. So we've been talking to Nicole, Samantha, and Emma from the Capital City Film Festival. Thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having us.